이어서 지브렐 네트워크에 대한 소개가 있겠는데요. 지브렐 네트워크는 암호화폐 규제의 솔루션을 제공하면서 많은 지지를 얻고 있습니다. 지브렐 네트워크의 공동 창립자인 탈랄 타바님의 지브렐 네트워크 로드맵 소개가 있겠습니다. 무대로 모시겠습니다.
How are you doing? I'm very happy to be here. Last time I was in Korea, in my last speech, I said that it was my first time in Korea and it won't be my last. This is my second visit to Korea and I'm already planning for my third one. To make sure that all the Korean audience is basically able to understand everything we say today, I want to see a show of hands. Who here knows of Ethereum and Neo? I want to see you raise your hands. All right, great. So translator is doing their job properly. Perfect. We're following on what Yazan was saying, three main categories that make up this industry: blockchains, smart contracts, and decentralization. So what are blockchains? People always say blockchain, blockchain, blockchain. It's a word that's almost people don't know what it is. It's being used for so many different reasons that we almost lose touch of what it is. Blockchains are databases, all right? They're a way to store data, but the implication that they can have on the world of finance, world of healthcare, world of government is huge, all right? So just a brief example that I like to give to showcase what blockchains can do is the double spend problem, all right? What is the double spend problem? Today, if I have $10 in my bank account and I send that $10 to the audience, all right? One day later, I try to send another $10 to the audience. The bank is going to tell me, Talal, you are out of money. You have zero in your account. So that means the bank basically took record of how much money I had using their centralized database, and they're able to tell me that I don't have enough money. In the world of blockchain or in the world of crypto, data is not stored in a centralized manner. So again, if I have 10 Bitcoins or 10 JNT and I send them to the audience, I now have zero. Next day, I try to make a transaction. Everyone that holds the ledger knows that I don't have enough funds to send that over. So it's basically a decentralized way of, in this case, I don't depend on a bank or a central ledger to tell me how much money I have. Smart contracts. What are smart contracts? Smart contracts are basically one of the applications of what they call Generation 2 blockchains, or the Ethereum blockchain allowed for smart contracts. It's basically a self-executing contract that one good example for smart contracts is basically if I have a rental agreement, all right? A rental agreement for an apartment. We sign, So if I'm renting an apartment today from the audience, again, we sign a paper-based contract. Smart contracts, again, self-executing contracts. All right, smart contracts. What are critical components of this emerging ecosystem? So in the field of blockchain, there are three main elements that we look at: storage and transactions, tokenized financial assets, and monitoring and administrations. I'll look at each one of them in a bit of more detail in just a minute. So at Jibrel Network, we realized that we require better ways to store, transact, track, and monitor value in this new ecosystem. So since we've created ERC20 tokens, or we've basically created Ethereum-based tokens, we had to trust or rely on another party to store our tokens. So let's look at what storage solutions are there today. When you look at storage solutions, you look at two main things: security and usability. If you look at my Ether wallet, it's considered one of the safest wallets out there. It's never been hacked before, but it's not that easy to use. So hard wallets are also the same. You look at usability. When you look at usability, you have Parity, which is very easy to use. and you have exchanges, crypto exchanges, also easy to use, but they sacrifice security. So with the J Wallet, we wanted to combine these two features, and we were able to create a wallet that is basically institutional grade, that does not give up on security, and it does not give up on usability. So the J Wallet is, it looks more like online banking than anything else. So I want to thank Nick and Rust, our designers, for creating such a wallet that looks easy to use. Anyone can use it, really. You require no background of cryptocurrencies or blockchain technology in order to use the J Wallet. 3 main features I want to talk about. I'll start with usability. The J Wallet is a simple, intuitive, easy user interface where you just plug and play. You go to jwallet.network and you're basically able to start using it right off the bat. It's very similar to online banking, and it's available in 6 languages. The reason why we decided to create the J Wallet is, as I mentioned earlier, we did not want to depend on any of the other wallets that are currently available there in the market. Security. The J Wallet is considered more secure than most of the wallets that are currently out there on the market. Every type of encryption, or every encryption for private keys, happens on your local cache, and the private keys actually don't leave your computer. Why are they called private keys? They're called private keys because they should remain private. You should not have to trust anyone with your private keys. Another thing that's important in the J Wallet is that you can bring your own node. If you're paranoid about security, you can actually bring your own node to our wallet. The third element that I want to talk about is functionality. So using the J Wallet, you can generate your own QR code. You can easily send and receive your digitized assets. And most importantly, it combines all 3 of them without giving up on security or usability. So if I have something that is very secure but very difficult to use, it's not going to be able to get market share. And at the same time, if I have something that is very secure but it's not an intuitive experience for the user, I'm not going to be able to attain the user base that I want. So today, the J Wallet is available in alpha, and it will be released in beta in the coming months. More importantly, we're releasing the iOS and Android versions very soon. So monitoring and administration. What's monitoring and administration? In the real world, you could think of it as auditors, all right? Financial auditors are the way that we monitor the performance of companies today. In the field of blockchain, you have block explorers. So who uses block explorers today? Or actually, before we go into that, I want to look at what block explorers are available today in the market. They are all chain specific. So you use Etherscan, right? Or you use blockchain.info. Using Etherscan, you check the Ethereum blockchain, and using blockchain.info, you check the Bitcoin blockchain. This chain specificity is actually a stumbling block for a lot of advantages that can arise by combining these 2 together. The options available today in the market are also slow and unreliable. There's absolutely no enterprise solutions that are available today. They're also unintuitive and complex. They're confusing for end users, and if you have no prior experience of cryptocurrencies, it's not that difficult to use. It's not that easy to use, sorry. So if you want to compare Etherscan with Google, when you log on to Google, you automatically know what you're able to do. Whereas when you log on to Etherscan, it's not a very easy or clean experience. So introducing to you Jibrel Search. By combining the J Wallet with Jibrel Search, we're basically able to look at blockchain.info, for example. Blockchain.info is great because it allows you to store your Bitcoins on the same website where you search for them. Whereas Etherscan and My Ether Wallet, there's absolutely no connection between them. So again, back to the 3 things that we talked about for the J Wallet: usability. The Jibrel search is as easy to use as Google, for example. You require no background knowledge of cryptocurrencies, and API access is free. So why is API access for free? We believe that dumb systems are better than smart systems. Let me explain that. With a smart system developed by IBM, IBM can hire the best developers in the world. But when you create something that's open source, something that is basically open to the public, you're utilizing the strength and the mental ability of everyone across the world because they can go in and utilize the technology that you've created. So Jibrel Search and JWallet will both be open source. Reliability and speed, it currently outperforms existing explorers by a magnitude of 6. It also has enterprise-grade uptime, which means it doesn't, there's no downtime such as the other solutions that are currently available in the market. Today, if you have a transaction or a smart contract, sometimes Etherscan does not show it. In using the Jibrel search, it will be all real-time. Functionality. The Jibrel search has advanced features such as contract execution, data crawling, custom data storage and reading. So basically, we're bringing new functionalities to the world of block explorers. Who uses block explorers today? It's mostly users. You don't have a lot of companies using them. There's not the complexity or the advancement of block explorers is still in its infancy stages, and using the Jibrel search, we'll be able to elevate or improve what it means to have a block explorer. Most importantly, the thing that I talked about earlier about being chain specific, Jibrel is building a product line that is blockchain agnostic. So on the same block explorer or on the same wallet, you are able to hold Bitcoins, Ether, Neo, Ripple, all in one place. Today, I, as a user, suffer from having to have several wallets, one for each coin. With the J wallet, you'll be able to store all your coins in one place. Same thing goes for Jibrel search. So tokenized financial assets. This is the backbone, or this is the most important thing that Jibrel is offering today. All right, so for tokenized assets, we have two main things that we look at. And these two things are very important when if you want to get mass scale. Today, the crypto economy is $700 billion. If you compare it to other markets, it's still very, very small. By bridging the gap between the crypto economy and the traditional economy, we're able to grow this industry heavily. So you have institutional investors. These could be banks holding currencies or companies holding commodities. These come with real-world regulations. Real-world regulations could be regulations issued by the central bank. It could be regulations issued by the relevant financial authority. So at Jibrel, we take the traditional assets that are with the bank, for example, and we create a CRIDER. A CRIDER is basically an asset-backed token that has the advantages of traditional currencies and the advantages of cryptocurrencies. The advantages of traditional assets is that they are stable, regulated, and insured. The advantages of cryptocurrencies are that they're easy to transact, easy to send, and cheap. Plus, they happen in a decentralized environment when you don't have to trust a third party. So, as for the second thing, which is smart regulations, we bring real-world financial regulations and we translate them into code. So this is a concept that our CTO, Victor, has been working on heavily, and it's something that will revolutionize the way that we look at regulations. So how are regulations implemented? Regulations are implemented the same way that we've been implementing regulations for the past, I don't know, hundreds, thousands of years. Ever since the days of the pharaohs, all right, where they were building the pyramids. They used to write rules and regulations on the papyrus paper. They would stick them on the wall, and you would have to depend on the individual making a conscious decision to follow these regulations. What if we could automate that process? What if we could make it so that the token itself is self-regulating? This is what we do with smart regulations. So let's say that one of the individuals here in the audience is blacklisted, all right? If I give you physical cash, you would be able to take that cash even if you were blacklisted. But if you had a digital Korean won or a digital dollar, you would be able to embed regulations in that token so that it refuses to go to that wallet. And this brings me to the next point of the slide, where our smart tokens or our CRIDers follow real-world regulations in a decentralized manner. It knows which users are authorized to hold and which users are unauthorized to hold. And crypto depository receipts are basically asset-backed tokens with smart regulations embedded in them. I talked briefly a bit about smart regulations in the previous slide, but there's two sides of it. The side that comes from the crypto economy and the side that comes from Jibrel and the side that comes from the traditional economy. So with any crypto depository receipt, you have the underlying asset coming from the regulated financial institution. It has the relevant licensing. So for example, if I'm sending money, I have to have a money transmitter license. And then you have the bank rules and regulations. This is what comes from the traditional economy. On the other side, with Jibrel, you have JNT providing the proof of solvency. It basically makes sure that the asset is backed. And then you have smart regulations and data oracle feeds, which are basically real-time feeds for the underlying assets. So if I have tokenized gold, for example, the price of gold is pushed onto our network through data oracle feeds. You have Jibrel's J-Wallet and the Jibrel search are two critical infrastructure components that we at Jibrel Network are building because we did not want to trust any of the solutions out there in the market. Parity, for example, is one of the strongest, let's say supposedly strongest technical teams in the industry, yet the wallet was compromised twice. Since our tokens are ERC20 tokens, we had to trust a third party to store our tokens for us. That's why we came up with the J-Wallet. After coming up with the J-Wallet, we realized that there's a gap. How am I going to search for my tokens? We came up with Jibrel Search. The most important product that we're going to be releasing this year is something that our CEO, Yazan, is going to be announcing later on in our presentation. I want to thank you all for your time, and please go to jwallet.network to check the alpha version of our J-Wallet. Thank you.
네, 지브렐 네트워크에 대해서 알아보는 시간을 가졌습니다.